But yeah, if this machine gets a lot of resistance, like if I'm fighting with a lot of stuff, it does not like it. Good morning. It's James from Pipe Doctor Home Services. It's Friday. Just a couple minutes after 8 o'clock in the morning here. We are at a client's house in Valley Stream, New York. Here to do a preventative snaking on his main sewer line. So he doesn't do it every year, but you know, he's done it every couple of years, and the previous owner of the property had told him, you know, he should have it done as good measure, because it's always good to have these things done prior to having a problem. But we were just talking about part of our plumbing maintenance agreement is that we do offer free annual snaking of any fixture in the house. So I was telling him, obviously I'm already here today for this, but you know, I sign you up, I'll hook you up with some discounts, and then going forward I come back this time of year and it'll be a completely free visit, no trip charge, no nothing. So he's just going over the information, taking a look at everything. But either way, I'm getting started with this. Now, one of the things is that I know this machine needs either some love or some replacement. Because if you guys watched my video where Mike and I were running around snaking, I was getting very little torque on this. So either I'm going to do research into getting this thing fixed up, or I'm going to do research into new equipment. Because once you obtain new drain cleaning equipment and you have really good stuff, you know, it'll pay for itself in a matter of 2 or 3 stoppages. So, but yeah, let's go get set up at the sewer line. Let me just bring my extension cord. I had it in my hand and I put it away on the shelf. All right, I'll show you guys once we get in. All right, so we're in our client's garage here. We could see our house trap pit, and we could see the graveyard of all the previous different cleanouts that were left here by previous plumbers. What we're gonna do is open up the street side. I'm always dropping my pen. Always. Boom, and there she is. Whoa. Look at that. There's a lot of gunkies in there. See all that? Let's go get my shop vac. I just want to see actually before we get the shop vac. Yeah, we're gonna go get the shop vac real quick and vacuum out the bottom of the house trap just to clear out any of that debris, and then we'll start snaking out to the street. Okay. Sorry if you guys are gonna be swinging around a lot because I have the necklace mount. Every time I lean over, the camera like comes off my body. So this is my Milwaukee, my M18 water. It's a wet or dry vac, but I have 2 different vacuums. I don't like to mix because once you use it for liquid, the ridges inside this hose get wet. And then when you're vacuuming up dust, it starts to clog up the hose. So this one I use specifically for water, sewer stuff, you know, all the yummy things inside of here. So let's just get this. You can see I opened up the house side of the trap as well. definitely a good amount of greasiness in there. Alright, so what we're going to do is we'll put the cable in the trap just to break a lot of that stuff up. And then I'll have the client put something on afterwards, so that this way we can get all that stuff flowing out of there. Yeah, that's all grease. You could smell it, and just the way it's built up in there. So it's definitely good that they called for this service. So let me get the machine going. I'll bring you guys back here in a second. Yeah, so I used to use a Spartan 300 machine, which is not belt driven. It's to be honest, I'm gonna just butcher this and you guys are gonna roast me in the comments for it, but I think it's direct driven from the motor. But I know for a fact it's not belt driven like this rigid K400. But it was so heavy. It was such a heavy machine to be lugging up and down the stairs, and also trying to get into crawl spaces and basements and all that fun stuff. I used to use the Spartan 100 machine, which I liked a lot, but sometimes it wasn't strong enough for main lines. Just trying to break up all this stuff in here. But yeah, if this machine gets a lot of resistance, like if I'm fighting with a lot of stuff, it does not like it, which is annoying. And also, there's no auto feed on it. So right now I'm just using the head of the snake to kind of just break up all the stuff in the house trap, which you can see is turning into a nice sludge. So I might just have him. Let me see where he is. I'll go find the client real quick. Love when a plan comes together. Let's hit this sewer going out. Let's get her in here. I lost my kneeling pad at that assisted living home. I don't know. I think one of the maintenance guys took it. So we have these in from Wolverine Brass. And it works. Gets the job done. Get this in here from all the way up here. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Let's get this on the other way here. Come on, get into your home. Are you too good for your home? Ah, there she is. Okay. So let's see. I would call that, let's see, 10, 20, 30, 35 feet. Spit on my finger and hold it up in the air, and wind direction is 20 knots. Alright. So since I do not have an auto feeder, what I like to do is pull out about a little less than a foot at a time and just, you know, go back and forth with the cable like this, pull it out again, go back and forth. What I did do, and I know this is probably not kosher with a lot of people, but this was a trick that was taught to me by a very highly skilled drain cleaner that I used to work with. He taught me if you just put a little baby kink in the end of your cable, that helps really get it scraping against everything, because if the cable's nice and straight, you know, it's gonna just be spinning around on the bottom, where, you know, you put that tiny little kink in it. One, it's gonna help you make turns, and two, it's just gonna really scrape against everything. So I'm gonna go back and forth here for a bit. I was just telling the client too that it was good that he called for service, because obviously you guys saw the condition the house trap was in. He definitely would have had a stoppage coming up soon. It's amazing to me that waste and toilet paper were even able to make it past the house trap and the condition it was in. So yeah, I'm gonna keep going at it like this until, you know, I get pretty far out there. You can see, so this is my first tape mark. This is 10 feet of cable. I have it intervaled, you know, this is a 75-foot long cable, but I have it intervaled all the way up to 50 feet, just so that this way I can keep track of how far out I am. So obviously, this is my 10-foot mark. I have 2 feet of cable out of the pipe, so I'm only about 6 feet in right now. So I'm gonna keep going at this for a bit, and I will touch back with you guys once I'm retracting my line back. So one of the tricks too with snaking is you ideally normally don't want to have this much cable out, especially on a stronger powered machine, because if the cable gets bound up further down the line, hold on, if the cable gets bound up further down the line, you're gonna get the cable twist up, and then it's gonna wrap up. And if you guys seen that recent TikTok where that kid's hair was like stuck in the cable, yeah, that seems horrible. So ideally you don't want to have this much cable out. Obviously I know my machine and I know my limits with it, and I can also tell by feeling the cable and what's going on that if I'm about to get bound up, you know, I just release my knee from the foot pedal. But what I'm essentially doing is I'm pulling out enough slack to then where I can just gently guide the cable down the line like this. This is my third black tape mark, so I know I'm at the 30, almost at the 30-foot mark. Once we get to the next black tape mark is essentially when I'm going to stop, because obviously I don't want to go too far into the sewer main that's in the road, because the end of your cable could get caught on the cable and then you're completely screwed. Usually you could tell that you're in the main sewer line. You could either hear it, you could hear it sloshing around in the sewer line, you could feel it, the vibrations of the cable, because it's going to be in a bigger line, it's going to be really whipping itself around. But usually it's audible, and a lot of the times it stinks. It's one of those, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, because usually the connection from the client sewer line into the main city sewer line is where there's a lot of problems, and like roots and stuff growing in. So obviously you want to make it to that point, but you don't want to be feeding like 10 feet into the cable, 10 feet into the main. So there goes the 30-foot black tape mark. So I just gently pull it out and lower my hand down the cable to help feed it down the line. I know you guys are swinging around a lot, so I apologize. Just the angle in which I'm working at here. And every couple feet or so, I've just been rinsing some water, just so any of the crud that I'm breaking loose can be sent out to the sewer. All right, we'll keep going. Okay, so right down here is my 40-foot tape mark. It's hard to hear with obviously the machine going, and I don't know how well it's going to translate the audio for you guys, but you could hear my cable is whipping differently than how it was previously. So I know I've made it to the sewer. So what we're gonna do, I don't normally like to throw it in reverse, because if you've caught up on something, you might unspin yourself from it, but highly unlikely in this case. You know, if you've ripped and caught up a bunch of roots, they're not gonna unwind from the cable, but it just, putting it in reverse makes it easier for me to retract on this machine. So now I get the wonderful battle of trying to get this thing back into the drum. Right now it's not too bad. Just gonna rinse it as we go. I'll show you guys the end result once we pull the head of the cable out. Okay. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely worth doing, especially in older homes, just because, you know, the sewer lines, the old cast lines, or some of the houses, they even still have the old clay lined piping. Yeah, it's definitely, it doesn't hurt to do, to have it done once a year. There's some houses where I go to where it 100% needs it every single year, and some maybe every year or 2 years. But in my opinion, at least, it's worth doing, because when you do get a backup, it's such a horrible mess. Right. And like, honestly, it's cheaper to just have it done every single year compared to dealing with that mess. Yeah, so as we could see, there's nothing on the cable, which is what I expected. There would not be anything, so we're gonna rinse out the line some more. And then we're gonna do something a little extra for our client today. So yeah, I'm kind of going back to what I was talking about before. I'm looking into the Spartans again. It's just, they're very expensive. Not very expensive, but you know, they're very up there, and obviously it is, you know, professional drain cleaning equipment, and it's, like I said previously, gonna pay for itself after a certain amount of stoppages. But it's, the other thing too is the bulkiness of it and my limited space with my work truck. You know, I'm not sure, and also it's not my money, it's Mike's, and you know, I have to figure out what's within the means of drain cleaning equipment. I was doing research on over the weekend Milwaukee's drain cleaning equipment. I know they have a drum machine. I know they have the sectional machine, which is not something I've ever used before. They have like the backpack snake, the pistol snake, all these different pieces of equipment. So I was looking at Milwaukee's. Oh, come on, really? Why is it always the head has to come off this thing? Hold on. Sorry about that. So I was looking at Milwaukee's drum machine. You know, you can get one that has the auto feeder, and I think it's a 3/8 cable, a 50 or 75 foot cable. No. Oh man. Oh, how did that get broken like that? Does it still work? Yeah, it still works. Aw. Literally sits behind the seat. I'm pissed. And funny enough, not to sidetrack one story with another story, I have on the way to me a drain camera that a company wanted me to try out. It's not a paid sponsorship or anything. They just wanted to send me it so I could review it. So I do have a new one on the way, but that's annoying. I'm really upset by that. The M18 drum machine that Milwaukee has, it's a 3/8 cable, which is good up to 3-inch, but you could realistically use it on a 4-inch main. Had mixed reviews, you know. The machine's like $1,000 something with the auto feed. option, like, you know, it can auto feed the cable for you. And obviously it'll be battery operated, which is a nice convenience when you're in a remote location and you don't have power accessible. But mixed reviews, and it's like, you know, I need something that's durable, that's going to be long lasting, that's going to help me get my job done. And you know, Milwaukee, I love their products and they do make very good products, but I need to make sure that I'm going to have something that's going to be worth the investment for us. So this was the extra step we were doing, was doing the camera inspection for the client. Let's see. I'm so annoyed by that. Alright, so let's see if we can get in here and take a look and see what we got going on. Oh yeah, this is a disconnected line right here. Shut my flashlight off. I have the light turned on all the way, huh? And that's just about as bright as it's gonna get. Very hard to see. There we go. Like opened up in brightness. Well, I don't like to jinx myself, but as of right now, we're squeaky clean. Yes, I'm curious to see this other camera this company wants to send me. There's two companies that want to send me cameras. I can only use so many drain cameras at once. But they want to send it to me. I'm going to make a video on it. Like I said, it's unpaid, so I'm going to give my full review of it, see how it is, talk about price point of it and all that fun stuff, and we'll put it to the test. You know, I had told them when they originally reached out that I don't do drains that often, or drain cleaning that often, maybe once a week or twice a week. But I can guarantee you that I will put your camera to use at some point in time. And even take it home and use it. I'm having a really tough time seeing with the brightness. This line is so dark. But I haven't hit into anything. I wonder if it's because it looks like there might even be some sludge on the head of the camera. But so far, so good. And the other thing with this camera too is that it does not tell me my distance of how far out I am. There we go. If I hold it like that, you know, I could just keep flipping the camera around. There we go, that's a better angle. Oh, little tiny pieces floating around here and there, but nothing overly terrible. That's all stuff that'll clear out during the next toilet flush. Alright, I'm going to pause this because this recording is getting very long. I don't mind doing long clips, it's just when it comes time to download everything off of my camera, the clips that are like 5 or 6 minutes long take forever. A little bit of a belly right here, as we could see with the standing water, right in this spot here. But nothing, not terrible though, because the camera wasn't submerged. I'm not going to make someone dig up their whole front lawn over the tiniest belly. I'm almost out. And there's the sewer. And there she blows. Amazing. Alright, so we know everything's good. Nothing overly crazy. Maybe just towards the end of the driveway there is that little belly. But like I said, not gonna make someone rip up their whole entire driveway over something tiny like that. So let me go get a rag so I could wipe my cable off, so I could try to keep this thing in good condition, even though that happens. I don't even know how that happened. Oh, sorry, Mike. You can forgive me. I try to take very good care of the equipment that I have because it's expensive. Yeah, so we'll get a rag. I'm gonna empty out my shop vac and vacuum the house trap one more time just to make sure we've cleared all the debris. And we will be good to go with this maintenance. Quick thing to address is that I'm going to try to do better in terms of with my recordings, my audio quality. I know sometimes I'm not paying attention. I'm using power tools, so it's hard to get the audio perfectly across to you guys. And I will also try to make sure that my video titles and thumbnails correlate better with the video. So like if the title of this is, you know, how to do preventative maintenance snaking, or came out for preventative maintenance snaking, I feel like that's appropriate. And I'm only addressing this because my water heater video that I just recently posted the other day, which is doing fantastically well. Thank you guys for the support. Someone had said how, you know, I didn't really talk about why the big box water heaters suck. And I thought about it afterwards and I'm like, wait, that guy's right. So I never, you know, I'm not a clickbait person, and I never want to make it seem like I'm doing or saying something that I'm not. So I will pay better attention. And also, at the end of the day, I'm editing and putting this stuff together at night before bed. So that's any excuse. But we'll get this cleaned up and we'll vacuum that out once more. Always. Like those videos of those guys that clean porta potties. I love those videos. That's good. This one went in here. Couple left tabs. Nah, she did the old flip, the old flipperooski on me. Come on, baby, come on, line up nice. Stop giving me a hard time. It's Friday. That's why there's a graveyard of these, because it gets to a certain point where they just don't seal nice anymore. All right. She's all done. So I threw one of these at Derek yesterday because we did a snaking call yesterday and Derek was with me, and he thought it was a feminine product, but it's actually a moist cotton towel. Hold on. Let me throw out the wrapper. Lavender scented. And it's really nice. It's almost a shame to throw this away. Like, it's actually like a pretty decent rag. Apparently Mike got sent these and this company wants us to start using them. I like them. And I said to Mike, I do some really gross stuff, obviously. So something like this would definitely be beneficial to have in the truck. Because you could see, it started off white and you could see. But, and it smells good. Yeah, so client's super happy. He has our service agreement for plumbing now, which is fantastic. So I can come back once a year and take care of this for him. And yeah, he's subscribed to the channel, which hopefully you guys will too. Thanks for subscribing. Hopefully you enjoy your video of your house. Got a couple more calls for the day. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Take care. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.